Family, all right, we're going to try something new today. Sermon is going to be outdoors on a hike. Just me and you. Today would be just me and you going on a hike. We are going to try to hike this hill today together. Now, one thing you need to know as we get started, I'm the only one getting the calorie burn here. So you're going to have to get some exercise another way today. But I hope God speaks to you here in the next few moments as you and I just have a conversation together. Patience. Gail, that's a great word for 2020. Well, sort of. I don't like patience, but patience, endurance. Today, as I'm recording this, I'm 39 years old. Tomorrow, I turn 40. By the time you're watching this, I'll be 40. And I put out a post earlier this week. I try not to make you guys dizzy, so you may just look away during this time. That's fine too. But hey, what tips do you have for someone who's turning 40? And you guys were nice. And go ahead and if you give me some tips, I'll read them. Be nice in the comments. You can laugh at my pain. I am in pain, by the way. That's one thing I didn't know to expect as I got older. My mind feels like I'm 16, but my body, my goodness. Turning 40, I'm excited for it. I'm not excited for the body aches and pains, but I'm excited. Like I feel like I'm doing what God has called me to do. And I want to talk about patience today. I want to talk about taking next steps forward today in this Christmas season. In Galatians chapter 4, if you read in Galatians chapter 4, I'm going to paraphrase it, but it said, at just the right time, or in the fullness of time, Galatians chapter 4, verse 4, that God sent his son, Jesus, into this world. At just the right time, at just the perfect time, God was on time. Now, when you look back in that first century, you can see, oh my gosh, the language, Greek, Latin, had kind of almost become like a universal language. Rome had just, with their armies, had constructed roads where travel could happen unlike any other time before. And then, just in the cultural context, there was this expectation. So you could see they were expecting a Messiah, a Savior, something needed to happen. And you could see all of those things working together. At just the right time, at just the perfect time, God sent Jesus. Now, if I'm in the moment, think about some of the people in the Christmas story. Mary, teenager, engaged, but pregnant, but not with her fiance. That doesn't seem like just the perfect time or just the perfect setting. That seems like a recipe for disaster. Joseph, he's like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, we're not getting married. She's saying she's pregnant. I know it ain't mine. And she's saying she got pregnant by God. Yeah, we're gonna call that one off. At just the perfect time. That doesn't seem like the perfect time. Then, during the last month of the pregnancy, at just the perfect time, a census has to be taken. And at just the perfect time, they have to travel by foot to Bethlehem or donkey, whatever. It's uncomfortable, you know that. Then they get there at just the perfect time. And there's no room in the inn. Baby Jesus is born in a manger at just the perfect time. At just the perfect time, Herod, the ruler in the area, he's jealous and insecure. He finds out there's a new king in town. At just the right time, he orders the slaughter of innocent children. And at just the perfect time, mom and dad travel with Jesus as exiles, refugees from their home. Now, if I'm in the moment, it don't make sense. I don't know what you're doing, God. I know you have plans and a purpose, but this seems like a disaster. Now, you and I, we have the advantage of hindsight, because we can look at the story and say, it was glorious, it was perfect, at God's perfect time. As Paul's writing in Galatians, he sent the Messiah. We can cheer, we can have victory, but in the moment, they say hindsight is what? 20/20. Hindsight is 20/20. I want you to be patient. Patient with yourself. Patient with God. Trusting Him. I'm turning 40, so let me reminisce a little bit. Right now, in the moment, I'm like, God, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't have a clue. But did you know, I was wondering that back in 2018, we had our first service, January 14th, 2018. God, what are you doing? Small group of us praying before the very first church service. God, do something big. God, move in Los Alamos. Scared to death, but also expecting something to happen. Lo and behold, in less than 3 years, we've seen 46 people get saved. 7 or 8 people get baptized. Have blown me away. The way you guys give, how generous you are. But let's go back a month before that. In December, we hadn't even started our first service. We said, let's just pray about it. 25 of us gathered in our living room, praying. God, if this is what you want, we don't know what to do, but if this is what you want, lead us. 2 months before that, I'm on a plane to South Carolina. God, what do you want me to do? I feel like I should go one way, maybe go another way. I don't know what you're doing. I was headed to a conference, pastor's conference, just seeking a word from God. And it was in that room in South Carolina, in that conference room. God said, you're going to start a church. Pause. Look at that. Look at that. I got to catch my breath. Rewind the clock a year, 2016. My pastor, my leader, my boss, who I'd been working for the past 8 years, gets arrested on charges for child pornography. What? No clue. Church is in disarray. I'm in disarray. Like, just whatever. You can only imagine. Not fun. So, God, what do you want me to do? Praying this with Rita. It's not just me. Rita and I both. God, what are you doing? What the heck? We want to reach Los Alamos, and this is the plan? You gotta be kidding me. God gives us a word in 2016. He says, you're free to look. Free to look, okay. Like a new job. Like, we're out of here. Let's go. All right, I like that. 7 months job search, 7 interviews. They all seem perfect fits. They are all going well until seems like each one just randomly. Hey, Mike, we love you. We believe in you, but you're not the right fit. After 7 months, my wife looks at me and says, Mike, I think God's calling us to stay. Stay. Stay for what? We don't know. This is back in 2016. Rewind the clock. 2014. My wife and I, we love church. We love serving in the church, but we are having some frustration. Oh, I gotta pause. Asking God in 2014, what the heck are we doing? And God says, in 2 years, I'll let you know. In 2 years, Mike, I'll let you know. Rita, I'll let you know. Now, first, I'm thinking, I want to know right now. I don't want to wait 2 years. Like, you're God, tell me now. Second, what the heck's going to happen in 2 years? And in 2016, we already told you, some crazy things started going down and God started moving. So for 2 years, we waited. Patient, endurance, waiting on God, trusting that He's got a plan and a purpose, a next step for us. It wasn't easy, but we kept bringing it to God. God, what are we going to do? We're trusting. 2 years, I'll let you know. That's 2014. Backtrack, it's 7 years, 2007. Now, I'm working at the lab at that time. Computer scientist, love the job, great pay, doing great. I'm going to church one Sunday, July, it's hot. I'm going to be teaching the youth group Sunday school. I get a flat tire. Okay, I'm terrible at changing flat tires in cars, so it takes me a while. Finally get the spare on. By this time, church is over, youth group's over, I'm not going to make it. Get the spare tire on, lower the car. The spare flatter than the original tire. So I'm stuck. I'm hot, I'm frustrated, sweating. God, what are you doing? Come on, man, I'm on your team. We're supposed to be doing this thing together. And I'm supposed to be teaching Sunday school, and I'm out here changing tires. He says, Mike, this isn't about a flat tire. You're going to be a pastor. Oh, what? You're going to be a pastor, Mike. You're not going to sit behind a desk anymore. Woo! Life change right there, 2007. Backtrack at 2004. Rita and I, we got married. That was a good year. Backtrack it to 2003. I moved to Los Alamos. Rita moves to Los Alamos. We didn't know each other. I was going to come here and work at the lab for 2 years, get it on my resume and go. Rita, she was coming to help her sister. 6 months and then go. 2003. It's 2020. Hindsight is 2020. I want to tell you something. We can have our plans, but I'm telling you, God has his purposes for you and for me. At just the perfect time, God sent his son. It was crazy and chaos. They had no idea, God, what are you doing? But when you look back, when I look back at my life, I'm telling you, God was there every single step of the way. The journey, the endurance. Here we are. We made it. We made it. We made it. A couple months ago, I'm right here on this rock, this rock, this rock, this rock. Look at this. I'm right here. I'm frustrated. I don't know how to do online church. You call me to be a pastor, but what am I supposed to do? So I'm up here. We went on a hike one day. I'm angry. I'm just angry with God. I'm on top of a mountain. Like, hey, it's as good a spot as any right here. Look at this. Just to have it out with God. I said, God, what are you doing? And he said, that's not for you to know. And he gave me a word. He says, spread hope. A phrase, 2 words, spread hope. I can do that. I can do that. So that's where I'm at today. I'm seeking God right now in this moment, saying, God, what do you want me to do in 2021? There's a part of me that knows I'm a little bit scared. I got a computer science background. I have a heart for Jesus. I got a passion to lead. It's kind of like Esther. Hey, for such a time as this, if we're going to do online church, hey, I built you for this time, Mike. Okay, God, let's go. Now, I know some of you, if you've hung in here with this hike, you're like, well, great for you, Mike. Good for you. Because I don't know what the heck God's doing in my life. In fact, I'm even wondering if he exists. I wonder if he even cares. I want you to say you're not alone. Some of you know you have a word from God, but you're like, can I trust that voice? Is that really from God? In hindsight, I'm going to tell you that voice that when you're like, God, what do you think of me? And you hear that whisper that says, I love you. You're my daughter. You're my son. You're my child. I love you. You can trust that voice. In the middle of the night when you're awake and you're crying, and that voice kind of whispers on the inside, says, I'm with you. I'm holding you right now. You can trust that voice. When you are so ashamed of yourself and you're wondering why God didn't just strike you down right there, and you hear that voice that says, you're forgiven. You don't have to hold on to that anymore. You can trust that voice. See, I've gone on this journey long enough to know that you can trust that voice. He's a good father. I know that voice. I've heard that voice before. So even in these uncertain times, these chaotic times, and I hear that voice, that's the one I can trust. That's the foundation I can build off of. And everything else is going crazy. At just the perfect time, God sent you. He sent you at such a time as this. He sent you to parent those kids. He sent you into that workplace. He sent you to share your faith, to love on your neighbor in this season. And I know here's where I get stuck. It's like, I'm going to go preach and hike a mountain. That sounds crazy. That sounds overwhelming. So many of us, we are overwhelmed. I want the mountaintop view, but it's so daunting of a task. I can't do that. Let me help you with a principle of patience. Patient endurance. You know how I hiked this hill today? You know what I did to hike this hill? One step. One step at a time. I may not be able to read a book that's an overwhelming thought for me, but I can read one page today. I can't read my Bible, the whole Bible in a year. I can read one chapter today. I can do that. Small changes. 1% changes. You can do that. Focus on, if you're overwhelmed right now with all the stuff, focus on the little things that you can do right now. You can win at that game. And eventually you take enough of those steps, you're going to look back in hindsight and you're going to see God doing some amazing things. Somebody said, Mike, you're in the prime, which I like it. I like it a lot, but it kind of scares me too. Because as we've climbed this hill, I know I got to go back down. And turning 40, some might say that you're over the hill now, Mike. And we can laugh about that or whatever, but I'm a believer that the best is yet to come. That just because I have a number at my age that I enjoy, by the way, I'm not over the hill. It's not all downhill from here. It doesn't have to go down. It doesn't have to go down that way. And for whatever you're facing and struggling with today, it doesn't have to go down that way. Mary and Joseph, the people in the Christmas story, you put yourself in their shoes. It doesn't have to go down that way. I believe the best is yet to come. Freedom. I believe if you get a word from God in this season, like, here's what I want. If I die on the way down this mountain, because climbing this mountain is like going to the ocean for me. I absolutely love the ocean, but I'm scared to death of what's inside. Like, seaweed hits me and you would think a shark just bit me. All right. As much as I love hiking this mountain, I'm scared that mountain lions are like stalking me right now, or there's a mama bear that's like ready to cut loose. But what I want as your pastor, like, if I die today, this is what I want between me and you. I just want you to seek God. Seek Jesus. Follow Jesus. Follow Him. Get a word from Him. Is He going to speak to you every time you seek Him? Probably not. But every now and then, you'll hear that whisper. And when He whispers, obey it. You will never, ever, ever be unsuccessful when you seek God and follow Him. That's what I want for you. It may not amount to earthly success, but that's not what you want. You have a Father you can trust in what's been one of the hardest years of our lives. I hope 2021 is better, but I don't know. We don't know what's in store. I'm telling you, you can trust God. He's an anchor. He's a solid rock foundation. He's a shield. Go to Him. Stop searching for other things. Go to Him. Cry out to Him. And you'll see, freedom, that the best is yet to come. You guys are amazing. I'm going to pray. Let me pray. Jesus, thank you. Thank you that at just the right time you came. You sent your one and only Son for us. And we didn't have to do it. We didn't have to earn it. We just receive it. It's the beauty of grace. Jesus, I pray right now for anyone in here that they need to accept you as their Lord and Savior. They give their heart to you right now. Speak to their hearts. Let them know how much you love them, that they're forgiven. They just need to receive it. If that's you today, let us know in the comments and say, I'm receiving Jesus. I need Him. This is my mountaintop moment. We want to pray with you. We want to resource you. But we can live freedom. You are free to climb the mountain. You are free to take your next step. And I want to take those together with you. So in this Christmas season, seek God. Because at just the perfect time, He'll give you a word. In this Christmas season, invite somebody to know Jesus. Invite someone to the Christmas in Los Alamos. I know it's like, what the heck are you doing? An online Christmas service? I think He wants to save somebody's life. Maybe it's your friend. Maybe it's a family member. It could be around the world. It doesn't even have to be in Los Alamos. In this Christmas season, let's patiently take our next steps together, and we'll just see what all God does, and we'll praise Him no matter what, in the good times and the bad, believing the best is yet to come. Freedom, I love you. Thanks for taking this hike with me. Let's go. Let's go.